Machiavelli had written uh, two books which are of very much importance for the students of political science or the politics. One is The Prince, and another is The Discourses. It was the book The Prince which made Machiavelli very much famous. But before we discuss the issues which are given in Prince, let us understand that what made Machiavelli write this book Prince. In July 1500, Machiavelli had a chance to visit the court of Louis XII on a diplomatic assignment for 6 months, and he realized at that point of time that the home state of Florence was held by the French people in a very low esteem, because the Italian Republic was not having a good army, and there was a very weak and vacillating Republican form of government, and the rule was not done in Italy or in Florence by very good rulers, but it was in the hands of the rich persons, especially by the merchants, who were not willing to have a good army. That is, they never wanted to spend money on the city's military. So, Machiavelli too was referred to as Ser Nihilo. That is, it means Mr. Nothing in French. So, Machiavelli had a very bitter experience as a diplomat, and he understood that the ruler must be strong enough, and he must be clever, he must be thrifty, he must be cultured, he must be forceful, he must be deceptive, he must be ruthless as far as politics is concerned. So he realized at that point of time that a good army, good citizens' army, in fact, pays much to the glory of a government, and republican form of government is an important ingredient for the glory and the success of a state, which has been discussed in the book of Machiavelli, that is the Discourses. So, when Machiavelli too had a very different type of life in Italy, because Italy at that point of time when the Machiavelli was as a diplomat, he had to undergo a pressure as far as his working was concerned. Machiavelli's career came to an end when he was dismissed from his position in November 7, 1512, because the government had changed, and Machiavelli was confined for an year into prison. So in 1513, he wrote a book called Prince, which was devoted to the new ruler, especially the Medici family. As a token of gratitude, the Machiavelli wrote this book, and where he had suggested that since there was a civil disunity and there was a civil strife and there was no political stability in Florence, especially the entire of Italy, so he was very much uh, worried at this problem of his own motherland. So he thought of such a government which could end the problematic situation in Italy, which can unify Italy. There should be a very strong political leadership which can give the Italy a very strong republican form of government, as well as a political stability which was necessary for the flourishment of the entire Italy and especially the Florence. So Machiavelli was very inclined to write book of named Prince, because he was understanding that the Medici family can provide stability to the vacillating form of government in Italy, and which was very necessary. And that is why when Medici family helped him in getting out of prison, as a matter of gratitude, as a token of gratitude, he rewrites the book Prince, which eulogizes or praises the ruler, Medici ruler. So, in this way, the history of Florence, what Machiavelli gives account of, is full of uh, problems which have to be ended soon, and the ruler has to be strict enough, deceptive enough, so that the stability, political stability within the country can be achieved. So, Machiavelli, in his history of Florence, he has analyzed and attributed the endemic social conflict and violence in the entire city state of Florence to a natural class war between the people and the ruling authority. And he was of the view that the cause of the instability was hatred that the poor had against the rich people. And he was of the view that the workers realized the need to protect themselves from the government repressions, and they have to act in a decisive manner so that they can win over those who are in the political struggles, political circles, and this can be done only through the struggles, which actually has been taken up by Marx, who has praised this tract as a masterpiece, and for his suggestion of the struggle between the haves and have-nots. So we can see that Machiavelli has already been remembered in history as a diplomat, as a scholar, as a dramatist, and in his personal life. It is necessary to tell you that Machiavelli was a very affectionate person, a very loving father, an eloquent conversationalist, a generous and trustworthy friend, but a disloyal husband. But he was having a great sense of humor. He could laugh at himself as easily as he could laugh upon others. So, when he died, the following inscription was there on his tombstone, and it was like this: "No epitaph can match so great a name." So we can see that Machiavelli had been interested in making the country a very rich, a powerful one. So whatever he suggests for the sake of making his country very strong, it was only the need of the hour to make the country uh, to make the country strong, and for that he has devised certain techniques which might seem to be treacherous, but it is of great use for the statesmen as well as for the politicians. So Renaissance, at the point of time when Italy was undergoing, it has a deep impact upon the Machiavelli. Glassky, he observes in his book, which was written in 1936, that the whole of the Renaissance is in Machiavelli. There is its lust for power, its admiration for success, its carelessness of means, its rejection of medieval bonds, its frank paganism, its conviction of national unity, and it makes for national strength. So neither his cynicism nor his praise of craftiness is sufficient to conceal the idealist in him. That means, to comprehend the full importance of Machiavelli's writings, and in that context, it is important to understand that the series of cultural, economic, and political changes that began in the 14th century had it was called the Renaissance. So, Renaissance signified a rebirth of human spirit in the attainment of liberty, self confidence, and optimism. Renaissance captured the Greek ideal of the essential goodness of the individual, the beauty and glory of the earth, the joy of existence, the insignificance of supernatural, and the importance of the present as compared to the irrecoverable past and uncertain future. That means Renaissance signaled the breakdown of unified Christian society. To us, let us understand, before Machiavelli, the entire society was thought to be one society, that is the Christian society, and it was to completely unified society. But with the Renaissance, the entire unification of the Christian society had come to an end and there was a breakdown. So we can see that the emergence of new human during the period of Renaissance, an ambitious, restless individuals who was motivated for self-interest, who sought glory and fame, who sought self-realization and joy, and rather than renunciation and asceticism. It was this time period when Machiavelli had his own thinking that the Italy must change its color, and it must try to come out of the bondage which it has seen since ages. So therefore, he was writing at that point of time when there was a lot of political chaos and moral disaster, moral confusion. Italian unification became the chief objective of for Machiavelli, and that is why he was his attachment was to the country for his from a country to redeem Italy from the era of servitude and misery. And Machiavelli's attachment was not to the state, but it's not to the Italy, but a unified Italy, a strong Italy, a political stable Italy, and it was only confined to Italy. So, freedom of the country and the common good remained the core themes of Machiavellian writings. In order to make his country strong, he tried to adopt any means which could bring success to the state and any means which was justified. That is why it was not the means, but it was the end which justifies the success of the state, and that is why Machiavelli had adopted such means which were capable of realization rather than only ideal. With this, we come to the end of this lecture, and in the next lecture we will discuss his views on human nature, civic virtue, corruption, etc. Thank you.